The reading today is from Sergei Kelly King, and he says, "We are all connected to everything and everyone in the universe. Therefore, everything one does as an individual affects the whole. All thoughts, words, images, prayers, blessings, and deeds are listened to by all that is." So that is.
Perfect. So welcome to those of you who may have just arrived in the sanctuary. There's been a lot of stuff going on back in the back there. Don't think I haven't noticed. The theme for the month of September has been I love. I love and ensure the stewardship of the planet. And my talk title today is Healing the Planet. Now, out of all of the Sundays that I have spoken throughout the years, the preparation over this last week for this particular Sunday was the most interesting and perhaps maybe the most challenging. On one hand, we have a planet. As wonderful and as amazing as it is, the beauty, the wisdom, the creativity, the intelligent way that all of it works together for the highest and the best of the whole. I think about the revolution of the planet on its axis. I think about the tides and the seasons and the sun and the moon and the stars and all of the plants and all of the animals and all of the minerals and all of us, the human family. It's truly, simply magnificent. A coordinated effort that really happens without really much input from us, if any input at all. It was said that we would fall apart and no longer exist without the planet, but that the planet would flourish without us. Something to think about. On the other hand, right, we are experiencing a planet that is messy and somewhat broken. A planet whose present day challenge is one of pollution, famine, global warming, hunger, disenfranchisement, racism, violence, destruction, war, and other conflicts, politically, socially, economically, ecologically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. On one hand, I believe that no matter what it looks like on the physical side of life, the truth is that the planet is spiritually whole, perfect, and complete, just like every other divine emanation of God. I know that as an idea in the mind of God, that it has within it everything that it needs to heal. Everything that it needs to grow and to evolve. I believe that no matter what it looks like on the physical side of life, that as a divine emanation of God, created in the image and likeness of God, that it is abundant. That it is fortified with boundless resources and unlimited possibilities that exist in the heart of God itself. On the other hand, we have scientists predicting that due to ongoing activities contributing to global warming, that the average global temperature could increase by 1.4 to 6 degrees Celsius in the 21st century. and that they say that this can have a disastrous effect on planet Earth. High temperature, loss of wildlife species, increase in the sea level, changes in rainfall patterns, heat waves, stronger storms, and the loss of the Arctic ice are just a few of the dangerous effects that the scientists predict are possible with this climate change. Environmentalists are saying that the human race is living beyond its means. Their studies and reports say that human activity is putting such a strain on the natural functions of the Earth that the ability of the planet's ecosystems to sustain future generations can no longer be taken for granted. Economists say that the world produces enough food to feed 10 billion people, and yet poverty and hunger prevail. On and on, the world of form is telling us that something is drastically wrong with the planet and our relationship with it. Telling us that something has to change in order for the planet to heal. So what's got to change? What do we need to do about it? What can we do? I overheard someone talking earlier this month, and it was mentioned again today, that they were really looking forward to this particular Sunday because they really wanted to know what they could do to heal the planet. Well, I'm not here to tell you what to do. But I can, and I have, and I will continue to make some suggestions and to offer up some invitations, right? So today I have two main invitations for each of us to contemplate and to consider as we put the final touches on this month of love and ensuring the stewardship of the planet. Last week, I made the statement that it is imperative that each of us recognize the importance, the significance of our state of consciousness. And it is just as imperative this week as we talk about healing the planet as it was last week. Our consciousness of unity, our deep and abiding connection to everything and everyone on the planet plays a big role in our success. The Tibetan Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh says, "The world is not a problem to be solved. It is a living being to which we belong. The world is part of our own self, and we are a part of its suffering wholeness. Till we go to the root of our image of separateness, there can be no healing. And the deepest part of our separateness from creation lies in our forgetfulness of its sacred nature, which is our own sacred nature. So therefore, the healing of the planet must begin within each and every single one of us. Within each one of us individually and collectively. The invitation is to do the inner work to heal our own inner wounds first. Everything that we desire for the planet needs to be initiated individually. In order for there to be peace on earth, there has to first be peace in our own hearts. In order for there to be love on the planet, there has to first be love in our own hearts. Then that individual transformation is expanded from the individual out into the collective, into our communities, our nations, and to the whole of the planet itself. We have to be willing to be the change we desire to see in the world. Change isn't always comfortable, But we have to be willing, in order to heal the planet, we have to be willing to turn away from our old patterned ways of living. Karen spoke about it. We have to be willing to wake up and to turn away from our old ways of being. We have to step into a new, powerful way of living, and we have to do it for nothing short of our own sacred nature. We have to do it from that place. To attempt to heal the planet without healing our own wounds, from a place of anger or from a place of against energy, is only going to continue to pollute the planet. Anger only begets anger, and violence only begets violence. Albert Einstein says you cannot solve the problem at the level of the problem. The bottom line is that we have enough knowledge and enough technology to transform the planet. But we have to be willing to bring about the changes within ourselves, to bring about the changes within our communities, to bring about the changes within our nations. But it has to start with us, each of us individually. We have to stop seeing the problem as something outside of ourselves, something other than within us. No changes will occur, no changes will take place without individual transformation. As each one of us transforms individually, then we will all of us will witness global transformation. The invitation here is to spend more time in meditation, more time in quiet contemplation, in communion with the God within us, creating the space for us to remember who we really are. Being aware of our divinity invites us to act in a more sacred, a more peaceful, and a more way. The invitation is to spend more time out in nature, noticing the beauty, smelling the aliveness, hugging a tree, feeling the connection that we have with all of it. Knowing who and what we are and who and what all people and all things are evokes a higher level of love, respect, and honoring from us. This higher level of love, respect, and honor reflects outwardly in our words and in our actions, in how we treat each other and everything else on the planet, including the planet itself. As we spend more time contemplating our oneness with all of life, we begin to really see that whatever we do to the planet, we are doing to one another, and we are also doing to ourselves. And whatever we do to ourselves, we are also doing to the planet. All of life is interconnected. When we recognize that the ground we stand upon is holy ground, and we live our lives from that awareness, then everything changes. Everything can change within us and outside of us through our own personal inner transformation. Now, the second big main invitation is to, as Ernest Holmes would say, treat and move your feet. Treat and move your feet. Now, within this dictum of treat and move your feet, the first invitation is to know the spiritual truth behind the world of form, and then to speak our affirmative prayer about the challenge or the situation from that space of awareness. Ernest Holmes says, "There is nothing to be healed, only the truth to be revealed." Our affirmative prayer recognizes the presence of God and aligns ourself and the circumstances or the situation with that power and presence. Once we have aligned, once we have recognized it and aligned with it, then and only then do we affirm, declare, or claim what we know to be true beyond the outward appearances. Can you see why this was a little interesting for me today, this week? A little bit challenging, perhaps you're feeling that yourself. Now, in the victim, treat and move your feet. Second invitation then is to move your feet. Do what it is that you are called to do. Again, Karen sang about it. Do what it is that you are called to do. Get quiet, go within, and ask your inner wisdom, what is mine to do? When we ask, the answer is already on its way. The invitation is to listen to that inner wisdom and follow through on what it says. Each one of us will be called to do something. Maybe that something will be based on our own unique gifts and talents. Maybe that something will be based on that which really opens up our heart in a way that we can't deny, in a way that opens us up like nothing ever else could or has, in a way that makes us want to move. Now, some of them will be really big and far-reaching, and others will be very simple and won't feel like very far-reaching at all. But you have to know that every little thing adds up. For example, if everyone in the United States would take the time to reduce all junk mail that enters into our home every week, 100 million trees would be spared each year. We could set a programmable thermostat in our homes adjusted to the season and to our typical daily patterns. And better yet, we could turn down the thermostat 2 degrees in the winter and up 2 degrees in the summer. And by doing that, nearly 880 pounds of carbon dioxide, it will stop 880 pounds of carbon dioxide from warming the earth. While many people across the globe are recycling, it would be good if more of us did. Specifically, beyond all of the daily content that we recycle, one suggestion would be to recycle our old cell phones instead of just throwing them away. Some of these numbers are astounding. 130 million mobile phones are retired each year, resulting in more than 65,000 tons of waste. Some waste. Americans use 3.3 million plastic bottles every hour. Every hour, and we only recycle 1 out of 5. Instead, we could buy a reusable bottle. Many of you do that. Buy a reusable bottle. Take it with you everywhere you go. You can find one that absolutely fits your lifestyle. You can even get them, and you can put them, wear them on a backpack, and just have the little thing that goes around like that. A camel. We could buy recycled items such as napkins, paper towels, and tissues. If every American household purchased one package of 100% recycled napkins, we would save 1 million trees. We could also choose, I'm listening to this one, biodegradable kitty litter. It's a thing. And bring our own bags to the grocery store. Turning off the water tap while we're brushing our teeth. Using a water filter instead of bottled water, and installing a better shower head in our bathroom are just some of the things that to move our feet on an individual level. Some really simple, small, far-reaching kinds of things. Some of us may be called by our inner wisdom to cut down on eating red meat or going vegan altogether, while others may choose to bike or to carpool rather than driving everywhere they go. What is ours to do will be different for everyone. Everyone will be called to something different. And no one can presume to know what is best. People, again, they get too angry if you're not doing what they think you should do. Who's polluting more? I don't know. It's a good question. But we all have to do what is calling within us to do. The bottom line is that the planet Earth is just as whole, perfect, and complete as every other part of God. Whole, perfect, and complete. If we follow the dictum to treat and move our feet, and listen to our inner wisdom in discerning what that is, what that looks like, then we will be walking the walk. And when we walk the walk, then all of our thoughts and words and actions will be in alignment with our truth, with the truth, capital T. And we will be a person of increase. We will be a beneficial presence, one who is assisting in the healing of the earth, healing of the planet. In a month whose theme is love, I love and ensure the stewardship of the planet, I leave each of us this morning with a poem by an unknown author. A poem that invites us to join a spiritual revolution. The poem says, "On the surface of the world right now, there is war and violence and things seem dark. But calmly and quietly at the same time, something else is happening underground. An inner revolution is taking place, and certain individuals are being called to a higher light. It is a silent revolution, from the inside out, from the ground up. This is a global operation, a spiritual conspiracy. There are sleeper cells in every nation on the planet. You won't see us on TV. You won't read about us in the newspaper. You won't hear about us on the radio. We don't seek any glory. We don't wear any uniform. We come in all shapes and sizes, colors and styles. Most of us work anonymously. We are quietly working behind the scenes in every country and every culture of the world. Cities big and small, mountains and valleys, in farms and villages, tribes and remote islands. You could pass by one of us on the street and not even notice. We go undercover. We remain behind the scenes. It is of no concern to us who takes the final credit, but simply that the work gets done. Occasionally, we spot each other in the street. We give a quiet nod and continue on our way. During the day, many of us pretend that we have normal jobs, but behind the false storefront at night is where the real work takes place. Some call us the conscious army. We are slowly creating a new world with the power of our minds and hearts. We follow with passion and joy. Our orders come from God. We are dropping soft, secret love bombs when no one is looking. Poems, hugs, music, photography, movies, kind words, smiles, meditation and prayer, dance, social activism, websites, blogs, random acts of kindness. We each express ourselves in our own unique ways with our own unique gifts and talents. Be the change you want to see in the world. That is the motto that fills our heart. Know that it is the only way transformation takes place. We know that quietly and humbly we have the power of all of the oceans combined. Our work is slow and meticulous, like the formation of the mountains. It is not even visible at first glance, and yet with it entire tectonic plates shall be moved in the centuries to come. Love is the new religion of the 21st century. You don't have to be a highly educated person or have any exceptional knowledge to understand it. It comes from the intelligence of the heart, embedded in the timeless evolutionary pulse of all human beings. Be the change you want to see in the world. Nobody else can do it for you. We are now recruiting. Perhaps you will join us, or already have. All are welcome. The door is open. The invitation today is to join the inner revolution, to remember who and what we are, to see the face of God in everything and everyone, do the inner work to heal our own inner wounds and to transform on an individual basis. Be the change we want to see, ask for and listen to our inner guidance. Be God's ambassadors, single one of our relationships in all arenas of our life. Treat and move our feet and do that which is ours to do, big or small, knowing that all of it adds to the healing of the planet. And so it is.